All right, Eric Holmes, before you get out of here, I know you got to get out of here soon. The Banished, we're just look, it's going to be, this is a spoiler situation. And I don't know, how do you want to start this off? Because everything is so confusing.
So I'm trying to replay how it ends. So
Oh,
she's tied up on the tree, and
she's
then
tied up in the tree,
the guy
the
that was
geography teacher, right? Yeah.
yeah. So he was tied up, and then they let her go and kill him. And then it turns out her brother's
One of the
not only part of
disciples.
the cult, but like kind of the leader of the cult is what I got from that.
He's one of the top dogs in the cult.
And then I'm struggling to remember what happened.
Here's the thing about it. When okay, so Grace, she gets injured halfway through the movie when she falls
Yeah.
down the mountain, and I think she breaks her leg, or she's very hurt. She's hurt,
Yeah,
and
she's got to crawl around.
she has to crawl around. And in fact, there's a sequence towards the end when she knows that the geography teacher is going to get murdered. Mr. Green, that's his name, Mr. Green, the
Yeah.
geography. She's yelling for Mr. Green, and he's over at the opposite tree, and he's tied up, and he's looking at her like, "What's going on? What's going on?" And she says, "No." She's freed. Her brother frees her from the tree, but she still can barely walk. So she crawls to Mr. Green and saying, "Oh," she's trying to save him and trying to, but alas, she doesn't save him, and then he gets stabbed and he gets killed. And before you go, Eric, I just want to say, what's interesting is when they stab these people, they wrap them up like a corpse in the what they put them in some kind of corpse wrapping thing, and they hang
Yeah.
them upside down on a tree, which is weird because one of the corpses supposedly that they bring down, they early a few
They
minutes.
just yeah, they just let him go. Like they
Yeah,
opened it up, he's alive, he's like, I can go. And then that scene I thought, oh, they're gonna let him take a few steps and then kill him or whatever. But no,
right.
they just let him go.
And I thought all of those things, those humans wrapped up in those things were all dead, but obviously not. That's confusing. And
Yeah.
did these stabbings really happen? Because the whole world behind this movie is she's trying to find her brother, and he's
Okay,
supposed. Go ahead.
I do remember what happened now because this was one of the things that confused me. So she's trying to untie the knot so Mr. Green can get up and leave because she sees that the one of the cult members is gonna
Kill
kill
him.
him.
Yeah.
And she can't undo the knot, and then he kills him. She gets away. And then she pulls that knife from the side of her.
Yes.
First of all, why didn't they ever take the knife from her? Second of all, why didn't she use a knife to cut the rope? Because she
Right.
clearly had it.
That's
And
true.
then
Good point.
I think, yeah, she used that knife. She killed her brother with that, right?
Towards the end, you see her walking to the cave. The cave is featured earlier in the movie as well, this
Yeah.
cave area, and she's limping towards it. And then when she goes deeper and deeper into the cave, it gets darker and darker. She can't see what's going on. She gets a little bit scared. She's holding the knife, and she hears, if I recall, footsteps or noise, and she brings out the knife, and she's scared because she hears something, and she's startled. She turns around and she has a knife in front of her, and it actually
Uh,
stabs her
oh, yeah,
brother.
he's just smiling at her.
Yep.
And then just,
Yeah. And he just falls down. And she's obviously mortified. But then what happens is when you see him dead, okay, then other members of her family, her late mother, her late father, they start showing up half clothed, and it's some kind of religious ritual or healing because she sees some of those people that have passed before her, including her brother. And then I think she sees Mr. Green, the geography teacher, towards the end, and then the movie gets darker within the cave. It's, I don't know, that's the thing that really, so obviously it's a surreal moment. It's a David Lynchian-esque moment. It's, you're wondering, is she
oh, yeah,
just
because it was doing that flash thing.
right? Is
Where
she,
it stayed on the family, but it was like flashing and everything else.
and
It
there
was,
may be,
that actually looked really cool.
and it's one of those,
Epilepsy warning, but it did look really cool.
and I forget if they're congregating to her, but now you know that she's now in the cave with the people that she, who are closer, that she loves. Is it a nightmarish place? Is it a place that she likes? That's interpretation is up to the viewer. And how did you interpret that ending, Eric? If just from your own POV.
So I didn't. And I think that has a lot to do with the beginning of the movie because I didn't connect with anything at the beginning of the movie. Like that, you just mentioned it was a family. that didn't track for me. I
Okay.
just saw it as, oh, this is weird stuff going on. Cool. And then I just left it at that. Thought maybe it was like I thought maybe it was like members of the cult or something. They definitely flashed like pictures of the cult and flashed a whole bunch of different stuff when they were
Right.
doing that scene.
Pictures of
And
her when she was a
yeah,
kid.
I just thought it looked cool. None of that connected. And I think a lot of that has to do with I was so lost at the beginning that none of that retained by the end of the movie.
Right. This movie deals with obviously abuse, generational trauma. That stuff you can look into the symbolism behind The Banished, or you can just take it face value as just a really surreal movie that you don't understand. Either way, you can appreciate this movie. I saw my interpretation of The Banished is she's looking for her brother, which is the simple mission. But then while she's looking for her brother, she's also discovering just she's locking into this very surreal place that she's going to. It says here in the description on IMDb, terror is a place. So the banished refers to the people who are banished into this area, and this area is just a very traumatic situation that it's hard to decipher. And I think it's really up to you, the viewer, to figure out if Grace is happy or sad at the end, or maybe somewhere in the middle. But you can even take it Eric's way, where you don't even have to interpret it. Just enjoy the movie for what it is. She's in a cave. There's a whole bunch of people who are half clothed, and maybe they're her family. I thought they were her family. Maybe they're not. And maybe she's dreaming the whole thing up. Maybe she's just, who knows? Because, oh, another thing that's interesting, Eric, where you're thinking where this stuff might be not real, she's trying to talk to someone on the walkie-talkie halfway throughout the movie because Mr. Green leaves her one morning and he just leaves like a coward. And I'm sure she must have been pissed, but she actually can hear someone she uses Mr. Green's walkie-talkie and she actually starts talking to someone named Michael or something on the walkie-talkie. And she says, "Where are you?" And he says, "I'm here in the section in the mountains. It'll take a day for both of us to meet." And eventually, when she meets this person, she finds his walkie-talkie, and the walkie-talkie is right next to a skeleton. And you're thinking, is she just imagining this entire walkie-talkie situation? Is that person alive or dead? What's going on? So a lot of The Banished is very confusing, but it's very surreal.
So the Michael part, I thought that was her brother, and I was like, wait, isn't her brother named like David or something like that?
Yeah, I don't think that
And
was
then when she sees her brother, she says his name, and it's not Michael. I'm like, who the hell's Michael?
exactly.
That part went right over my head.
So it's what, the fact that she found a skeleton next to the walkie-talkie, you're
Yeah.
thinking, what's really going on? And there's also a sequence towards the third act where you see these members of this community. They have these masks and they descend upon these backpackers near a lake and they start stabbing them. And you're still wondering, okay, so that's very obviously very violent, and the slaughter of these innocent people is crazy. And then you see these people now, they're hung up on the trees upside down, but you're also wondering, are these people really dead? Because when one of these body bags are opened, Eric was saying a person just gets up and walks out and is fine. I don't know. So it was confusing, Eric, but
Well,
I
also
still fine.
like that before that massacre, where she's walking around the forest at night,
Yeah.
and then one of them comes by. She's got her flashlight, and she like holds the flashlight up to her body. The other cult members behind her with
Oh,
the
with the
torch.
flame. Yeah.
Yeah, like that scene
What's
was
that?
that scene was creepy, but
Cool too.
the whole time I'm like, turn the flashlight off.
Yeah. Turn the
I'll
flashlight
hold
off.
it to your body. Turn it off.
Yeah, turn off your flashlight. They're gonna flag you down. And look, they don't go back to that woman with the fire, with a torch in the
I
middle
mean,
of the
she
night.
knew well enough to hold the flashlight to her body to not let the light out. Just turn it off. Like
Yeah,
I
yeah,
I don't understand.
yeah. Guess what? The light was
There was a bunch of like weird things like that where it's like with that with the knife and I don't understand.
and then
I
you
wonder if this movie like I feel like I pick up more on it if I watch it again, especially the
possibly,
beginning part,
yeah.
but I don't want to. That's the thing.
Also, you got to wonder, is Mr. Green, who was stabbed at the end of the movie, who's the geography teacher, former geography teacher Grace, is he in on this? Because the first time she sees Mr. Green again is, again, this movie is so confusing with the nonlinear stuff. She sees him herding people into a white van. So he obviously knows they're going to go to this really violent place, but he ends up getting stabbed at the end. So, anyways, a lot of confusing stuff. Again, with all of these surreal stuff at the ending, and I apologize. Eric and I were trying to make sense out of the ending, but Eric has, his, I think, the best POV. Just you don't have to make sense of it to enjoy it.
Yeah, it already didn't make sense. So I was
Yeah.
like, that scene looks cool.
Okay,
We got
well,
some out of it.
Patreon members,
I
patrons.
think that's why I like the third act the most. Not that I got it or like it's weird doing a spoiler on this because like
Yeah,
I think anyone that hasn't seen it would listen to everything we said and be like, huh?
yeah. Huh, what's going
But
on?
I think that's why I like the third act because I wasn't trying to figure it out at that point. I was just like, I'm already lost. But this scene looks cool. Or like the cult member, like their masks, because they were like these clay things, but it's like a hole that goes into nothing. Like they look pretty cool.
How about this as an alternate ending? Okay, I just thought of this in my head.
Sounds
What
good.
what if the ending, Grace, her dead body outside the cave, and then it cuts to that?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it doesn't matter, right? Who knows? Maybe it was all
That-
a dream, right?
it
Maybe she
could
died when she fell down from the.
could be better, could be worse, could be just as good. I have no idea. I'll watch all that.
All right, so tell us what you think of The Banished, and in the comments, if you guys can, whether Patreon members are watching us here over at the Cinematics YouTube channel, comment below. Tell us, give us your interpretation of The Banished. You probably will do a better job than me and Eric, so we want to hear some insights on your take on The Banished. And again, thanks for watching this video.